did you miss on account of the speed? I mean, I missed a lot of things, not on account of speed. It's just hard to understand these things.
Yeah, that's I agree. This last week, unfortunately, I haven't reviewed the shiur, so I missed quite a bit. He called you?
He called me, I just couldn't answer.
He called me also. I didn't want to talk to him.
Oh.
I'd like to call your attention. I said this morning, this is as subtle can be. But yet, I would like you to try and really sense what is being said. Because if we get this to touch our sechel, we'll be that much more refined. Let's start 3 lines from the top. This is repetition. V'yin ha'echrochius. We finish saying that Eine Muchrach has v'sholem b'habchir. Has v'sholem to say that he is muchrach, that he is compelled to make the choice. Because we said before that neshamis are mushrosh in atzmus, in pnimis atzmusei. Nevertheless, in the muchrach has v'sholem to say that he is compelled in the bechir, which means to say that he is muchrach to make a choice or to choose them. It's not muchrach in bechir, in this bechir. The ha'echrach is 3 lines on the top. The ha'echrach is because the principle of hechrochi use, which means being compelled. What makes something muchrach? Ho'inyan ha'tfisa. It is a principle of tfisa. Tfisa means that he is being grasped by this thing. He becomes, so to speak, contained within and imprisoned in it. Shenitvas b'hadover, that he becomes attached to the thing. The Ayin ze shayach klach has v'sholem b'chinas u'atzmus. This kind of concept is totally not shayach has v'sholem in the inyan and of atzmus. There is nothing that can attach itself and add to atzmus and cause it to be following through on that. Yet still, yet still the bechira, the choice is exclusively. Who? Be'efen kach dafka, exclusively in given manner. Be'efen kach, only this way. That it should have the bechira dafka in this way, not in any other way. What compels it that it should be dafka be'efen kach? This is the true inyan of bechira. Even though He is not mukhrach in it, and yet still, this is how it is. It has to be this way. Therefore, what is the inyan habchira? He is not mukhrach. He is not nitfas in it. He is not grasped by it. And yet, the bechira is exclusively in this particular way. Ulefizeh. Therefore, according to this, here is the challenge. Inyan habchira hu, the principle of bechira is sheyivchor v'yirtze kaviyochol, that he should choose and want kaviyochol, which means he should choose this inyan. What is he choosing? Bameh shehu pnimis ritzeni, that which is the pnimis, the depth and the purity of his will, upnimis ataynik, and the pnimis of the tynug. Now you would think that tynug is something which is inherently true to this presence. This is what he's misaniking, and yet we say, no, he's choosing it. He's choosing to be misanik in this. V'sibas abchira, and what is the cause that he is making this choice? Hu mipnei shehein pnimis v'atzmos ataynik. He's choosing it because, in fact, this is the essence of his tynug, and yet it's called a choice, not a something being compelled on it. We have to take some kind of a example, some kind of an aspect that we will discuss and say, this is what he chooses. Now, to identify something that Atzmos chooses, we are not going to even try, because this will be redefining Atzmos in a manner that we can identify it. That's not the point. The point is in some kind of a projection manner. There is light and dark. Atzmus is not mukhrach, is not compelled in light or dark. It says kachasheho koir. Light and darkness are equal. He can see in darkness even as he can see in light. It doesn't need light to make things visible to him. We probably are at a loss to understand what that means. Maybe I'll go back and I'll discuss this principle. We discussed light many times. What is the light of the first day without a luminary? We discussed this, but let's leave that for a moment. Kahashecha koira. Like darkness, like light. Yet, if one would project and say, what would Hashem choose? Would he choose darkness or light? From our perspective, from our sense of value,
Choose both.
What would he choose?
Both.
No, don't be a smart aleck. Why would he choose light or versus darkness? Why would he choose? What is more reflective to a lakus, light or darkness?
Light.
Light. Right? Why would you choose light? He would choose light. Even though he is not muchach in it, he is not compelled. But nevertheless, he would choose light over darkness. and he would choose light dafka, so to speak, exclusively. And in our limited mind, we would say he would choose light because light, so to speak, is closer to Elokus than darkness. Closer to the inner of Elokus, even though he is not compelled in either. In other words, he would choose light because that is pnimis hatynug. He appreciates quote unquote light. He appreciates light.
Wait, why did we go to Pneumius Atino? We just said according to our sort of limited mind, we think of light being closer to godliness.
Pnimis hatynug, no? That would be his pnimis hatynug. That would be a truer element, even though he's not in the darkness. He doesn't need it for his personal use, personal benefit. Are we communicating here?
And I'm getting lost how they're equal to him, and yet next step we're saying the one is Pneumius Atino.
Okay, so let's go back. Good. Okay, that's what we had before. Yes. What do you project Hashem would choose? Darkness or light?
That fine. We say light, but that we agree is a projection. So how do we?
One second.
Okay.
Why are you projecting that? What do you mean we agreed on it? On what basis are you projecting? Why are you projecting it?
Because the concept of light from darkness is the quality light. So this light from darkness is the quality light. The light from light is, so that's why I thought that.
I understand. I
was easy.
understand where you're coming from.
Why do we project it?
Why are you projecting that he would choose light over darkness?
I mean, I think it's a projection, meaning it's from our context. We see the quality of light.
No, let me answer. You're not getting into it. What does light mean? In a more objective, a more absolute sense.
Clarity, more of the truth.
What does light mean? Try more. What does light
it's a
mean?
presence. It's not darkness is a lack of presence. Light is a presence.
Okay. Anybody else can have
Chedva, binkomo.
It's virtues.
Joy, more joy.
Virtues, like it's
Kavanah, it's an intent.
More joy.
It's not a default state. It's a
what?
More joy.
Taking phone contestants too?
More positive.
I'm sorry. I had to press it.
More positive. More positive.
More
Instead, are you
positive.
taking phone contestants also?
I'm sorry. What?
Are you taking contestants over the phone?
Absolutely. I'm waiting for those.
So, light is positive.
Okay.
Dark is negative.
Okay.
It's more, Hashem is positive.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Right. It's fine. I'm collecting more. Whatever you say is probably correct, but I'm enrich it with more statements. Should we say, for example, that again, from our perspective, when we do something which is not entirely nice, we go into the dark. When we do something nice, we go into the light. Would that be a correct statement?
Mm-hmm. So
I got nothing to hide. Famous. Nothing to hide. I have no secret. I have nothing to hide. Okay. Would that be symbolic of light versus darkness?
100%.
100%. So in other words, do we all agree that light would be more symbolic of Elokus than darkness? So if he were to choose light or darkness, light versus darkness, he would choose light. Not because he is compelled, he needs the light. Without light he can't see, so to speak. That would be nitfas. He is light, he is limited to light. He can't function in the dark. He cannot express himself fully in the dark. That would be nitfas. However we want to put it. So he says none of the above. I'm sorry, this is my mother-in-law. I have to, she's calling the second time, my wife is not home. So therefore, okay, this is merely kind of a means by which we can understand these words over here.
Can we also say that in light we can see everything, and in dark things are hidden from us, and
From
Hashem,
us,
nothing is hidden.
from us, but not really. Your mother just called a couple of times. Call her back, but
Can I use the phone?
yeah, sure. That's all from us, but we are talking from Hashem's perspective, and
Yeah,
we say
that's reflecting Alakus, because Alakus can see everything. I mean, nothing is hidden.
yeah. So if you say that he needs light to see, then again you're going back to the principle of tfisa.
He doesn't need light to see, but by him everything is light. Like we say on the Shemesh is etzem behiri.
You're saying in terms of what he would choose. Is that what you're saying? He would choose.
I think that why light reflects more than the course.
Yeah, okay, that's what this side is. Okay, fine. So here we have a means to understand these words just in a very limited fashion. He is not nitfus, he is not muchroch in this, and yet we, in our limited understanding, say light is what he would choose. Why? Because it's closer to what the Lakus is. It is what we call mamashu v'sibas habchirahu. Okay, we have the line by v'sibas habchirahu. V'sibas habchirahu, the cause, the reason for the bchirahu, mipnei shehein pnimis ve'atzmus hatayuk. Because they, the Neshamas Yisrael, are the pnimis ve'atzmus hatayuk. Shemin Yosef. Are we on the same page here? Did you understand the analogy we used over here?
I'm not sure if I'm getting the point.
Okay.
Or I'm getting the point, but I'm not seeing how that light over dark gave us the point.
You don't need dark and dark. You understand the point that he is making here. It's bechira. Bechira means he chooses. Choosing means there's nothing compelling him to select this over this. Let's make a choice.
Right.
He had the full option to choose one or the other.
Right. The full option, and yet, if one is pneumius or tynug, so
And yet we say that when he chooses this dafka. Dafka means exclusively.
because there would be no other option. There's no.
No,
Other.
you say here. Because they are pneumius and sechel. Pneumius reacts with that.
Right.
It,
I mean, is it correct to think of this as paradoxical, as something that we cannot really grasp in our own terms?
I said this morning this is like circular logic.
Fine. Okay.
But there is a sense to this. This is what I'm saying. Like we should recognize that there is a sense to what we're saying. This is not just going in circles and saying nothing. It means this. The principle of Bechira over here is this. That's why I took the light and darkness as an illustration. Okay? Please follow this. He is not mukhrach in light. He does not need light more than darkness. For personal use, no question about it. He does not need more light than darkness. Yet, he will choose light. The choosing of light is an expression of that light he likes more. It's tynug. He likes it more. It's more beautiful to him. Not because he needs it, not because he gives him more service. But because this is something which is closer to his so we speak personality. He doesn't have a personality in our human terms. Now, here's the big thing for me. If this is closer to his personality, why do we say he's choosing it? It's not choice. This is his. This is him. What's the point of saying he's choosing?
He's not compelled by his own personality.
That's right. So why do we say it? What's the point of saying that he's choosing it? What is the choice? What is the term describing it as a choice? Add to this relationship. He relates to light more than to darkness. Okay, he relates. It's closer to his personality. What is the principle of choice? Why do we say it's choice? Please follow this. Choice is an expression. And this is a statement. This is better than this. He's choosing it. It's a statement from his, from coming from him.
Rabbi Paltiel?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, could you just repeat? This is better, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
This is superior. This is better, not in a functioning manner, not in terms of benefit, but in an essential level. Okay, let's take this back to Neshomis, to the reality that we're talking about. We spoke about this as we were learning. So what is the special Ayin in the Neshomis Yisrael? That we say that Goyim do not possess that quality. Goyim are very smart. And they know also good from bad. For example, they do favors to one another, they establish laws, they protect each other's properties. They want to make the world a better place to live in. They're not necessarily doing bad, they're doing good things. And on that level, we can hardly tell the difference between a Yid and a Goy Lahab. I mean, ultimately you could, but not necessarily. Sometimes going, the Chassidium is Ha'olam. Chassidium is Ha'olam during the Second World War. We have stories that really boggles the mind. They've done phenomenal things. At the risk of their own lives, at the risk of their own families, all kinds of different things. And yet, so it's true, this is in a so special category. They call it Chassidim Israel. In other words, they have that very special refinement. It's not a common thing. Nevertheless, we still don't count them among the Jews. Among the Jews. They're not a Jew. Chassidim Israel, the Rambam says, has Olam Haba. He gains an element in eternity for his nefesh. There's still a difference. And here is the point of the difference. This is quite difficult. The Chassidus have done wonderful things. Nevertheless, as we said, it says Chaim li Yisrael and Misa li Yaakov. What is the catch over here? So we said, as we were going along, the phenomenal inyan of Matan Torah and Kabbalah Torah was not that Eden accepted all the mitzvahs in the Torah. We trust you, God. You say this is good, this is good. We accept it. But that was not what Kabbalah Torah entailed. Kabbalah Torah is a completely different thing. It's a statement of Na'aseh v'Nishma. What does Na'aseh v'Nishma mean? Na'aseh v'Nishma means that what we are doing here in this world has nothing to do with this world. It's not a question it makes the world better or worse. We will do because you up there, wherever you are, told us to do it. It has nothing to do with this world. Because Na'aseh v'Nishma means that we don't relate to it right here in our environment. What is? But we don't see him. But the Rebbe is Bashamayim, V'yem Ba'oretz. So what do you mean, Na'aseh v'Nishma? It means that Yidden say, we are in this world. That's not real. Why is this world present? What's the presence of the world? It represents one thing, that there is God Bashamayim. That's what it stands for. It doesn't stand for its own presence. There's no good, there's no bad, there's no beauty, there's no ugliness, there's nothing. There's only one truth and one reality. That reality is what makes everything real. Take that away, and nothing is significant. This is going back to our moshel of the host and the guest. It's just a moshel to rest with people as a point. You have a whole beautiful meal, and it's beautiful, it's wonderful, and it's well served, it's well present it with great fanfare and great friendship and so on and so forth. If you don't have the host, I have nothing. Not that I have a pleasant meal, but I'm missing something. I have nothing.
Meaning like you're outside?
What?
Meaning like you're outside? Outside. You're outside the reality. The truth.
There's nothing there. You know what I'm talking about, this emotion, right? Do you subscribe to it? Do you relate to it?
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Because Hashem Echad. And
We are talking from a human perspective. It's emotion. Even on the human level, we all sense, just in terms, because a human being, I said, a human being has very fine qualities. He's an atzmi in a certain sense, which means he relates to an essential truth. He has the capacity to relate to essential truth, and nothing can camouflage it. Nothing can substitute it. I'm giving you such a beautiful meal. You're insulting me. Why am I insulting you? I'm serving it to you on silver dishes. You're insulting me. You're not talking to the real person. You're talking to a person who can experience a good meal or appreciate nice dishes. That's not the person. That's what a human being is. The human being is a reality, pure reality. And you're not talking to it. You're not relating to it. You're insulting me. Are we talking? This is the special quality of Neshamas Yisrael. And this is the very essence of Hashem's choice. There is no reason, there is no difference if you choose Elokus, because Elokus is wonderful. It's wonderful, it's good, it's great, it's beautiful, it's pure. It's kindness and goodness itself. You are dealing with Metzias, with something of a present stuff. That's not Atzmus. Atzmus is what we said, Nimtzu b'Bchinas Shlei b'Metzias Nimtzu. Even if you go to the point of, is he present or not present, you can't answer that question. Does he exist or he doesn't exist? You can't answer that question. He exists and doesn't exist. It's a legal statement. He's not in the realm of existence. He chooses to be present. That's a choice. That's because as you said, light is rooted in Pnimis v'Atzmos HaTayim.
Just lost you
That's
on
why I
the
had
last.
this point, if we can possibly express it. What? Go ahead.
No, I just lost you on the last turn. What you said.
I'm sorry?
I lost you on the last turn. You were saying that for him that you say he's nimtza or not nimtza. You're not really saying anything, because he's not in a manner of mitzias. He's yet we say that he would choose to be nimtza, and just because uh, like you said before, this example with the light over darkness, kind of.
A choice means the choice has to do with value, not benefit, not function.
So you're saying that the being versus not being has a value?
Being, the being that we're talking about is not personal being. As a result of this being, his presence becomes nisgal, becomes expressed, becomes known. It has a value.
Uh-huh.
I mean, again, we're trying to put some words to something which doesn't. As I said, it's circular logic, but it's meaningful circular logic.
You're saying it's not functional, yet there is a value to it.
That's right.
I'm sorry, I remember we learned something that we were saying that when we learned about the nefesh, something human being sechel. So we were saying that, and you were explaining that, like, Atzem knows. It's not oblivious. It's not. It knows. So there is a value in knowing versus being. We can say that the Atzem is oblivious, is unaware.
On the other hand,
its awareness we can't describe. We can't say what that is. It's not functional, as you say. Like, I mean, I don't just remember the
there's many different ways. Just this subtlety, the subtlety of understanding and be able to sense a thought that
to sense what?
A thought, an idea that does not have a functional. What functional means?
Functional in this sense will be me.
Functional means
like galus without me.
No.
Without the me inside.
Functional means an effect, some kind of practical effect. It's not functional. Sense of it's something that does not have a functional present, a functional difference. Like in the case of the guest and the host moved away. Has that affected his meal? The meal is the same. When the host moves away,
but it's not with the same value.
Yeah, that's why. What has happened? What's missing? There's nothing tangible that's missing. He invited him for lunch, and he's given lunch, and nothing is missing. And yet, you say an essential thing is missing. An essential thing, not a practical thing, not a functional thing. This is the union that we're struggling to understand. And this is what the Rebbe is saying over
here.
Huh?
This is what the Rebbe
says.
He's
choosing not because he's compelled, not because he needs it, not because he's bound by it. There is not a functional element in this. And yet, this is rooted in his essence. He's not bound by it and he's choosing his essence. What's up shot? And that's why he's choosing it. He's choosing it. And again, if we say that he's rooted in his essence, so that pulls his essence, that's tfisa. That's a function of it. It's not the tfisa. It is the pure reality of it. The Rebbe gives a mashal of a father and a son.
Rabbi Paltiel,
Yes, sir.
just before you go to this mushal, so does this relate back to what you said? You said a little while back that it's like he's appreciating his own personality. This is back when we were talking about why is light, superior to darkness.
Appreciating his own personality, this is where the term bochar comes in.
He appreciates it, but there's no tefisa there.
That's right.
Is there no?
He's
How is there
saying,
no-
this is what I choose.
Is he forced to have a certain personality?
No.
No. But on the other hand, he has it.
He chooses to have it.
He chooses to have it. Uh-huh. If I could just add, a long time ago, maybe it was the first time around with this, I remember you mentioning about a person and his own face.
Right.
That this is a similar thing.
Right. And we explained many times that Rotze b'kiyum moi. He wants dafke this in it. I was thinking right now something that exposes this thought. Perhaps we can relate to it a little more. Again, we may be lost in the fact that it's so simple, but nevertheless, I would like you to think in the subtleties of it. Avraham Avinu, the biggest promises that Hashem gave to Avraham Avinu, this is what he lived for. That his offspring will be Hashem's nation. And his offspring, Hashem said, I will increase your offspring, they will be more numerous than the stars, more numerous than the dust and the dust on the earth. Now let's think about this.
What are we thinking about? That Avraham Avinu was, I'm not sure who was impressed here with what?
Avraham Avinu was promised. This is the big reward that Hashem promised him, that your seed will exceed the stars of the sky and the seed of the earth. Now, let's think in simple human terms. Okay, everybody likes his child, but it says, "Rachmei ho'av al haben." Rachmei ho'av al haben was the special relationship, special love, and special affection of a father to his son extend to 3 generations. Li, Nini, Unardi. The great grandchild does not touch a person in the same depth as a grandchild. Certainly not as a son, as a child. That's the nature of things. So what is so significant? Your seed means your seed who knows how many generations later. Will be who knows what. What does that mean? What kind of promise is this? What is the significance of that promise? So what is it? On the human level, on the level that we can actually identify the correlationship, there's nothing there. But there is an element what's called the eternity of the soul. Neshama is eternal. And experiencing the Neshama, there's a limit. But the essential element of the neshama is not limited. This is why a human being can have a child, a full-fledged human being, stand-alone human being, can beget an offspring that stands on its own feet totally and completely. A complete creation. Yesh me'ayin. Because the soul possesses that truly godly presence. Total independence, total reality. But this is not something that one experiences. It's not something that one, so to speak, relates to on a conscious and on a daily basis. Yet, some place in the deepest crevices of the soul, this is the truth that the Neshama is talking about. It doesn't experience it in any which way. But this is the truth that the Neshama is talking about. And to Avraham Avinu, this promise meant everything.
I'm sorry to say I'm missing this. What is the thing that's so special here, so nuanced?
It says that a person does not sense the special relationship.
Right. I got that.
Beyond a certain generation. So what's so significant to Avraham that his offspring, 1,000 generations later,
So you're saying that this is in
500
the
generations,
neshama.
will be great. What?
You're saying this is sent by the neshama, even if it's at a completely insensible level.
But in untouchable level.
Which is why, consciously speaking, there's no more sort of special thing after the third generation.
Right. But this is beyond the touchable, beyond the experienced level. This is a reality, a godly reality that's beyond anything that you can experience.
I have a feeling that I first understood you and then I lost it. Even about this Neshoma's business, about Avraham Avinu, that what he was promised and it meant something to him, although it makes no sense. Kind of, I mean, is it that he sensed that there is a certain value to this type of offsprings, to this Jewish people, to this people that is not describable?
Right.
And
what did the Jewish people stand for as far as the Rome is concerned?
To doing Hashem's
bring Hashem's presence in the world. What does it have to do with him?
He did the same thing all his life.
Fine, so you do it. The fact that your offspring 100 generations later will do the same.
No,
how does that affect you?
He cared that it should be done, not that he is doing it.
Why? What's in this?
Oh.
Eternity?
Huh?
Eternity.
It's not the eternal aspect of the soul. He has this desire. And this is inherent. And this is by choice.
But inside the eternal aspect of the soul, he has what?
He makes that choice.
What choice? Avraham Avinu's?
Yeah.
That it should matter to him.
It matters to him. Okay, this is the best that I can do.
Can you go back for a second to the previous illustration you had about, well, not even illustration, you had inside the mimer you said that the